Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll start the show in about 5 minutes. Anta, the AV guys are ready. So I'm going to give. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for the delay. There was a slight glitch with the generator. We'll get started. If you can settle down, we'll get started. So please settle down, ladies and gentlemen. So good evening. I'm Hari Mohan. I'm your MC for the evening. I welcome you all to the launch of the book, Bobby, India and Ireland, a love story. It's a biography based on the life of our much loved and respected skipper, MV Narasimha Rao, also known as Bobby, Bob G to us. In Ireland, they apparently call him Bobby Rao. So a quick introduction, because we only know Bobby as someone who got the Ranji Trophy back to Hyderabad. But Bobby has accomplished much. So he played Test cricket in the late 70s, won the Ranji Trophy for Hyderabad, the only one that we won post-independence. He's also the only Test cricketer to have been appointed as a member of the Order of the British Empire for his contribution for community service to cricket through testing times faced by the ethnic community. Now, Bobby lived in a tough place, Strabane, which at one point was the most bombed town in Europe. Frequent gun battles and such. Among other things, Bobby was instrumental in coaching Ireland as an assistant coach to Mike Hendrick and laid the foundation. This was in the mid-90s. And laid the foundations for Ireland to Ireland played its first test in 2018 against Pakistan. So a lot of that credit goes to Bobby in that. He fought racism, was a member of the North Ireland Council for Ethnic Minorities. He started the Strabane Ethnic Community Association. He mostly lived life on his terms. It looks like wherever Bobby went, he changed that place for the better. No wonder the book is aptly titled, Bobby, India and Ireland, a love story. So Bobby's book is co-authored by his friend and journalist and a wonderful book writer, Conor Sharkey, who is here with us today. And he will speak about why and how he wrote the book and perhaps read a little from it too. I would now like you all to take a short, to look at a short AV with messages from Bobby's friends and well-wishers. Can you play the AV, please?
Kapil, I hope you and your family is well. Happy New Year. When I come next time to England, I'll come and see you. I wish I had played a little more cricket with you. Take care. Look after yourself.
So happy for you, Bobby. I wonder if anyone there knows you as MV Narasimha Rao, which is what I called you in my first Ranji Trophy match that I did commentary going all the way back. I don't know if you remember, at the end of the game, the captains came up to the commentary box. I was nervous as hell, and you were chatting with me throughout, and it was so much fun following your career. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of us at that stage used to copy B.S. Chandrasekhar, used to imagine that we were him and, do his bowling action as well as we could. And then when I saw you, I thought there's a little bit of B.S. Chandrasekhar's action in you. I mean, there was no video, right? Just something in the head. And so I started doing your bowling action as well. And I think I ended up being more Chandrasekhar than you, but it was great fun. And I think sometimes, what would people give for someone today like you, brings your skills today? A proper top 6 batter, a very accomplished leg spinner and a fielder who's just wow. So I hope the book goes well. I hope the story is inspiring as well, and all the best.
Hello everyone. Hi.
Hello.
Sorry we couldn't be there in Hyderabad tonight for the launch of Daddy's book. We have work commitments and we're not able to make it. But we just wanted to give him a message to say how proud we are of his book and everything that he's achieved throughout the years. We know that you're excited for your book launch and to let everybody in India and Hyderabad read your book, and I hope they enjoy it as much as we do. So have a good night everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye!
Hi Bob G, this is Kapil.
So, thank you all. Can we now have the chairs on stage so we can invite the guests? You need one more, right? All right. So I'll start with inviting the co-author of the book, Conor Sharkey. Conor is a journalist with 2 decades of experience. He's worked with the BBC, the Irish News. He's worked in Canada and Australia. Currently, he's the editor of Donegal News Ireland, and this is his first book. Conor? Okay. I'd like to now invite the Commissioner of Police, Hyderabad City, C.V. Anand, to come on stage, please. C.V., I know, is the only active cricketer from our vintage, still scoring centuries in league cricket. I'd now like to invite Jayesh Ranjan, Principal Secretary of Industry and Commerce and IT. And Jayesh is an avid cricket lover and a book lover. He's been part of the HCA and he's an integral part of the just concluded Hyderabad Literary Festival, so he's no newcomer to books. I'd like to invite former Indian international cricketer and head of cricket at the National Cricket Academy, VVS Lakshman. And the man of the moment, former India Test cricketer and the last successful Ranji Trophy skipper of Hyderabad, Bobby. And the president of the Board of Control for Cricket in India, Roger Benny, the chief guest for the evening. All right, thank you all. I will now take off my hat as an MC and I'll put on my hat as an author and a former first-class cricketer. I've taken up the job of introducing the book. So I've read the first draft. Firstly, congratulations to Bobby and Conor on your fine effort. Writing a book obviously requires a lot of courage and honesty, and writing a biography, of course, requires you to be a lot more vulnerable. And in these days when bios read like fiction, Conor has stuck to facts and ensures that he presents both sides of the story. With books, and especially when you introduce books, the common question that comes up is, why this book? Is this book necessary? So the book is important because it's not merely a collection of Bobby's achievements and his life, but underlying all that is very clearly a story of the resilience of human spirit. And Conor does a great job of showing and not telling, which is the hallmark of good writing. I think it's the hallmark of anything, that we show and not tell. So what the book shows through Bobby's life, I'll pick three things and I'll share them with you. Firstly, that a man's true character shows up in adversity. So Bobby's two greatest achievements, one of course, he prides the winning the Ranji Trophy for Hyderabad, and the second is being awarded the MBA. Both are outcomes of adversity. So in Hyderabad, the time when he became the captain and we won the Ranji Trophy that year, the previous year and the years leading up to that, he perceived unfairness, injustice, and formed the players panel. They came in and they had a point to prove. And out of this adversity came the Ranji Trophy. When he went to Ireland, and he went to Strabane, which was, like I said, the most bombed town in Europe and home to shootings. And he went exactly in the period when it was called the Troubles. And that period, I think, was probably the worst. And he used cricket as a means to promote community spirit. And once again, facing a lot of adversity there, he came up trumps. And the result there is the MBA that he was awarded. So to me, human spirit is about that. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. And Bobby seems to be getting bigger when there is adversity. He also seems to be doing his magic quietly and he goes away. The second point that I picked up from the book is what true leadership is about. So it's not really about winning the Ranji Trophy or the Irani Trophy. To me, the bigger challenge Bobby had was that it was a diverse bunch of volatile players, young, old, a divided administration, and he brought in a winning culture and he won the Ranji Trophy. So I feel great leaders are those who, by their actions, presence, vision, change the environment and the people for the better. You know, you put these people in a mix and they always end up making a better place for that. So when you look at it, what was the Hyderabad Ranji team when he entered, and what did he leave it with? So he left it with a trophy. What was the private coaching setup before he set it up first? And look at what St. John's has achieved. So we have Lakshman, we have Vihari. Even R. Sridhar acknowledges him in his book, in his recent book, saying that if it wasn't for Bobby, he wouldn't have probably taken up coaching. More importantly, what would have been Ireland cricket when he went there, and what it is now. So I really believe that great leaders are about consciousness. It's not about talent, or it's not about acumen. I believe it's about a consciousness, about being able to hold a big possibility, and being able to hold, I think, the energies of people around you. So this room itself contains many personalities whose energies can't be contained by most, not in one room at least. So Bobby can do that. I think we're all here because of Bobby. Thirdly, what comes across in the book is Bobby's humility. He's acknowledged everyone for the part they've played in his life, his gratitude to his coach, Eddie Ibarra, his unabashed admiration for his idol, the one and only ML Jaisimha, and mostly for the team that won the Ranji Trophy is touching. So there's this line where he says, we were like a family from the first match to last. And for people like me and let's say D. Suresh or Chetan, who played a few matches in that year, we always felt like maybe we didn't belong. Maybe we didn't do enough to actually claim that we were part of that squad. So to me, a line like this makes me feel very much part of that squad and makes me feel, yes, we also contributed a bit to that. So thank you, Bobby and Conor, for that. As for the writing, Conor structured the book beautifully. It's written in a very accessible manner, yet retains a fine Irish charm. Conor's voice comes through in the jokes and his tongue-in-cheek humor. I love the research he's done on India. He quotes Jawaharlal Nehru's speech right at the beginning. Then a lot of interesting stories that he picks up, that how Ireland once beat West Indies. they bowled them out for 25 runs in 1969. And this was a team that had Clive Lloyd in its ranks. And this was in a place called Sion Mills, where Bobby played and worked for some time. About how Bobby met Prince Charles, or even his early association in St. Anne's with an Irish nun called Sister Ariane. I'm sure all of you will enjoy reading the book and discovering many more wonderful facets of Bobby like I have. Clearly, anyone who's seen Bobby, met him in the 80s and 90s, knows that he is a man of the world. He had this flair that reminded us of a rock star, a cross between Freddie Mercury and Lionel Richie, right? And apparently he had a yellow car, I never saw that. But he had a very inclusive and progressive attitude, which he carried on elsewhere. He left India and Hyderabad for love, and that's how he is. So well done, Conor, and well done, Bobby. May I now invite co-author of the book, Conor, to speak a few words and perhaps read from the book.
Can you hear me all right? More importantly, can you understand me? I prepared a short speech because otherwise I'll just be rambling and it won't make any sense. So, look, one second. Yeah, I'll start on a personal note, I suppose. Writing this book, it has changed my life. Not only has it enhanced my profile as a journalist, it has opened a whole new world for me. Coming here to India on 2 occasions, they've been incredible experiences, and I've met so many incredible people, many of whom are here tonight. I would be lying if I said writing the book was easy, as much of the research involved digging up records and score sheets that were created when I was still a little boy, some of them before I was even born. But we persevered, and I'm so glad we did. So thank you for the opportunity, Bob, and on behalf of myself and the people of Northern Ireland, can I thank you for everything that you've done. Just about how Bobby and I came to know each other. I've known Bobby for 20 years now, through various activities that he was involved in. Back home, he's a very busy man. He was involved with the Rotary Club. He was president there for a period. Obviously heavily involved in local sports. And he established SECA, Strabane Ethnic Community Association. He's involved in so many things. But it was only when I started writing this book that I got to know him as a person and who he truly is and how passionate he is about helping others and improving the lives of those with less than the rest of us. Two examples of that can be found 20 years apart. In 2004, he set up Strabane Ethnic Community Association. The organisation has changed the lives of countless individuals and families who have come to Ireland and made Ireland their home. It has also made his adopted hometown of Strabane, where I'm from, a much more multicultural and colourful place through events such as our now annual Diwali festival, which we never had, we never would have had without Bobby. And also SECA's participation in our annual St. Patrick's Day celebrations. That's the first example. The second can be found in the pandemic response back home. Bobby put himself to the centre, the forefront of that response. And when others were staying at home, he made sure the vulnerable and elderly were fed and cared for and had a friendly face at their door every day. He was out there when others were choosing to stay home. His generosity, his spirit, his determination that no community, no person should be treated any better than the next have been a shining light since he made Strabane his home over 25 years ago. You are all aware of Bob's achievements here in India. Through our book, I hope now you will have the full picture of who Bobby really is. His efforts to bring communities together in the divided society of Northern Ireland, it was far from straightforward. And Bob took risks where others were reluctant to do so. There were challenges, most notably when he had to leave his job and what he had built in Sion Mills due to racist abuse and the ignorance of a few. But where others might have crumbled, Bobby rose up, as he would, and became stronger and more determined than ever. By connecting with the key political leaders of the time, people like John Hume, Nobel Peace Prize winner, the late Martin McGuinness, Peter Robinson, and even Prince, now King Charles, Bobby has put the issue of ethnic minorities front and centre of the social agenda back home. He did all of this, of course, with Josephine at his side. I don't think he could have done it on his own. She too lived through the dark days of the racism and the ignorance. Bobby has broken down barriers. He has united people. He has united communities through sport. And he has made Northern Ireland a better place to live in. And for that we will be forever grateful. Bobby, thank you. I'm just going to read very briefly, because you'll be sick listening to me, from the book. And I'm actually going to read, it's the epilogue, which was only added recently. It's, while a sad place to start, it also feels like the right place to start. This was written in December, just past there. So it's now December 2022, a full 2 years and 8 months after the final chapter was penned. Much has changed in that time, most notably the death of Bobby's dear brother, Ranganath. The Major, as he was known to many, left this world on May 24, 2021. Ranganath's influence on Bobby's life was immeasurable. His wisdom and guidance was pivotal in his younger sibling reaching the sporting heights that he did. It is only fitting that this book be dedicated to his memory, because without him, there would be no book. It's as simple as that. There wouldn't be no book without Ranganath's influence. Others too, who were kind enough to contribute, have passed on since the first words of India and Ireland, a love story, were written. Mike Hendrick, the man who put Ireland on the path to test status with Bobby at his side, died from cancer in July 2021. Similarly, Peter Kelly Rhodes, the Upper Mill veteran, who remembered how Bobby steered the club to victory in the Tanner Cup, he lost his life to the same cruel disease in April 2021. There are others, but to list them all would be to risk leaving someone out. Please, though, rest assured that on each occasion the unfortunate news reached us, Bobby and I met up, we had a cup of tea, and we chatted about each individual and their lives. As a writer, no story, memory, anecdote, or compliment offered in the compiling of this work was ever taken for granted. Those I spoke to offered their time freely, and it was always appreciated. As for Bobby, each individual touched his life in some way, and they are all remembered with great fondness. Our sincere thoughts and prayers go to all their families.
Thank you, Conor, for your reading and the speech. May I now invite C.V. Anand to speak a few words.
Good evening, everyone. My privilege to be here today, this evening, on the occasion of the release of this book titled Bobby, India and Ireland, a Love Story. As you can make out, this love story does have an underlying meaning to that. Welcome, Josephine. It should be titled Hyderabad and Ireland. So it also gives me great pleasure to be sitting alongside Roger Binney, great hero for all of us. Still, we watch the highlights of the '83 World Cup now and then in black and white, keeps getting telecast. And as youngsters, we saw those matches. and of course, dear friends on the dais, VVS, and all the seniors sitting here along with their family members. At the outside, I must say that writing a book is never easy. And my first experience of experiencing how difficult it is was when Harry was writing the book for Doc, M.V. Sridhar, after his untimely passing. And the amount of hard work he put in, the number of people he had to consult to get to the facts, his friends, childhood friends, and trying to retrace the entire history. I was amazed that then I realized that all the books which are out would have been a result of so much of hard work. So I congratulate Conor for the hard work you've put in, and along with Bob, you must have spent several evenings, several days traveling, gathering the details, getting to the facts, because you can't, once you're putting it in a book, in paper, you can't afford to make any errors in that. Coming to Bob, of course, he's too senior for me to talk about personal experiences, but I remember playing only one innings against him. We were playing for Deccan Blues in the year 1986, I think. The Deccan Blues versus a power-packed Andhra Bank team. All of them, I think out of 11, 10 were Ranji Trophy players playing for, and we were bowled out for 122. And that was my best innings. I scored 63 of them. He took 8 wickets. One of my teammates, Vikram, is here. I saw him when I came in. Vikram Man. So that was the day I realized how difficult it is to face him. I mean, the first time I saw him was when, as a kid, we went and saw Saad Bin Jung and he playing against the West Indies, I think in Lal Bahadur Stadium. Those were the times when we used to sit on those stadium stairs and cheer. It was pure fun. And Saad Bin Jung had scored 100, and we thought, being in school, he would play for India. But he didn't. Then that was the first time I remember seeing him with the hair. I just can't believe that he's without that hair. You are a rock star, Bob. You should have continued that. And maybe you had that hair when Josephine fell in love with you. Was that one of the reasons, Josephine? His appearances? He was a hero. There's no doubt, with long mustache. That's the image I have of him even now. So whenever I meet him with this bland look, I said, Bob, this is not you. We want to see you like that. Maybe perhaps he can have a wig for all of us right now. Anyway, he gave me the book a few days ago, and I had the chance to just glance through it. And it's very well written. I suggest that all friends here buy the book, not expect a gift. Is it on Amazon or something? Oh, good. So, a few facts which have come out, as Harry has just outlined, is the fact that he had gone there, and at one stage he faced this problem of racism, and he was dropped, and the way he fought back through a local society, and then he made it big. That institution survived. His 3 children were there to support him throughout, along with his wife, and the entire community came onto his side. That's a great effort in a foreign land. It's very difficult. It sometimes reminds me of Gandhiji, you know, who did it in South Africa. So, and then his travels between Hyderabad and his zeal to improve Hyderabad cricket. I remember the time when, in 2010, like this year, Hyderabad was relegated, lost perhaps all the matches, and was relegated to the plate division. And the next 3-4 years he was here. The management then had the courage to enlist his services. And he did such an excellent job with the Hyderabad Cricket Academy. The team again, I think, rose back into the 10th, 8th position or something, back into the Group A elite category. So all that passion he has for cricket and the zeal he had, the commitment he had for Hyderabad to improve Hyderabad cricket is something which we see even today. Today also he hopes for a chance to be given to him to improve Hyderabad cricket. I hope it happens. I wish you all the best, Bob, in the days to come. I'm sure it will happen. And then the other aspects like his commitment and his fight for to unturn the injustice, and also the love for his country, which comes through very much in his writing in the biography details. So very happy to see all my cricket friends, and also to be present on this occasion and to be invited for this book release. Thank you so much, Bob, and thank you, Harry.
Thank you, CV. May I now invite Jayesh to speak a few words, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries. My congratulations to Bob Jigaru and to Conor for bringing out this book. In a country of 1.4 billion now, it is only the best who rise to the top and become international cricketers. And the kind of effort that goes behind the making of an international cricketer is something which will be very valuable and experience to share with others. So I'm sure, apart from interesting anecdotes, etc., this book will also inspire young cricketers who are looking towards building up their career, the kind of hard work, the determination, the perseverance, and most importantly, the tactics with which you develop your skills. So congratulations to both of you, Bob Jigaru. I started following cricket from the 1974 series. That was the India versus West Indies series. It was called in a popular way as spin versus pace series. We had the fabulous spinners in the Indian team at that time. But we all know that some of them were kind of phased out thereafter. Chandrasekhar in particular was not in the team thereafter. And as a replacement amongst all the leg spinners who were there, it was very amazing that Bob Jigaru got that opportunity. He played international cricket. He distinguished himself. In those days, of course, there was no television. And I remember as a child, the biggest source of course, the newspapers would carry the scores and all that. But the biggest source of analytical articles on cricket matches was a publication called the Sports Week. And I used to subscribe, get my copy every week. I remember they would carry color pictures in those days. I still remember, this is so many years ago, more than 4 decades ago. But there was a very, as my friend CV also pointed out, a picture of Bobji with his lock of hair and his thick moustache, which also was drooping in a very stylish way, would remind people easily of some of the Hollywood actors who would carry that kind of a persona. So I was very struck by that. And in some ways, B.S. Chandra also had a similar kind of a get-up. He also had long curly hair and a moustache of that kind. So as a child, I used to think that maybe they have selected someone who resembles Chandra to replace Chandra. But of course, his exploits in the field, both internationally and domestically, are legend now. The 86 Ranji win deserves a book by itself, possibly a movie for itself, because of the way Hyderabad cricket was really taken to the zenith. And I'm very happy that lots of members of that team, and particularly those who contributed immensely in the final, because those of you who played or who watched or followed will recall that the game could have gone either way. I mean, it was a very close first innings lead. I don't recall the precise scores, but just by about maybe 50 runs or so. And Arshad is here, Azim is here, Vijay Mohan Raj is here, Rajesh Yadav is there. I think Shiv Garu is also here. I mean, all the stalwarts who participated in that famous kind of win. The match against Delhi, that also was a very star-studded team. You had Mohinder Amarnath, you had Bhaskar Pillai, you had Manu Nair, you had, I think, Atul Vasan was also there, if I'm not mistaken. So all these, I mean, man to man, it was definitely a stronger Delhi team, but to kind of win against them also has lots of leadership lessons. So I do hope that maybe Conor, you will not be familiar with Ranji Trophy that much. So we'll require an Indian writer to assist Bobji to carry out his reflections. But definitely something which is very memorable for the cricket history of Hyderabad. I'm glad that Hari Mohan has also spoken about the coaching record of Bobji Garu, particularly his role in establishing the St. John's Academy, which continues to produce brilliant cricketers even now. And while we spoke about Mr. Lakshman and Vihari and others, we should also recall that it has produced some stellar women cricketers, including Mithali and quite a few others. So that is again something very, very kind of appreciable. Not every cricketer eventually decides to get back and share his skills with budding cricketers, but Bobji chose to do that, and that's amazing. And also the fact that the kind of work that he has done in Ireland, frankly, I don't know much about it. Unless I read the book, I won't really be enlightened. But the fact that he has been awarded the MB by the Majesty shows the value the British Empire puts on the effort that he made. And obviously, I'm not fully aware about the challenges, the racism, etc. But of course, coming on trumps against such adversities shows the kind of personality and character that Bobji is. I'm sure that this book will go quite well. I look forward to reading it as early as I can, and wish him all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jayesh. May I now invite Lakshman to speak a few words.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I think it's a huge honor because when I'm in a room filled with my seniors, my colleagues, and also some of my childhood coaches, my mentors, who have helped me to blossom as not only an international cricketer, but as a human being. You know, it just feels great whenever I'm in midst of all of them. And genuinely and honestly, they've made a huge contribution in my life. So thank you very much to all my seniors who have selflessly helped me to grow as a human being, and also to the distinguished guests on the dais. It's indeed a wonderful evening. The reason I say it's a wonderful evening because we're celebrating the life of Bobji sir, as I call him. First time I met him was in 1987. That was just when Hyderabad won the Ranji Trophy. And just 1 month after Hyderabad won the Ranji Trophy, I was showing my grip to Bobji sir at St. John's Academy. I was overwhelmed because my uncle, Baba Krishna Mohan, my grandparents' house is just opposite St. John's camp. So he joined me in that academy. And I still remember it was the first day of the camp, a Saturday morning, and Bobji sir asked all of us to stand in a line, and he was checking each and everyone's grip. I was tensed, I was nervous, and I ended up showing a wrong grip because I was again overwhelmed. Not by the looks, as CV or Jayesh Ranjanji told, because I didn't even look at his face. I was just so tensed. But after that, the kind of contribution he had, the kind of involvement he had in my career, as you rightly, if you see there, I mentioned that a huge influence, not only as a cricketer, but as a human being. Because since 1987, whenever he used to come back to Hyderabad, he made it a point to help me to grow as a cricketer, as a batsman. Even though he was not here, he always used to follow my game wherever I was in the world, he used to make sure that he used to reach out to me if there was something which I needed to work on my technique, if there was something which I needed to improve in my game. He was never shy of phoning me, calling me, and telling me what I required to do. And that's the kind of involvement he had, even though he was not physically present at St. John's Cricket Academy. We all know his contribution to Hyderabad cricket, to Indian cricket. Winning the Ranji Trophy, which was a dream, unrealized and unfulfilled dream of mine. Arshad Bhai was the coach in 2000, where we came to the finals against Mumbai, but unfortunately we didn't cross the line. But that was one of the unfulfilled dream of mine, of not winning the Ranji Trophy for Hyderabad. But he was the captain of that wonderful team. As we all see, the players who were part of that team, a team which not only me, but my entire generation of cricketers looked up to, because that was the goal, that was a dream of every one of us, to bring glory to Hyderabad cricket. So for him to be the captain, to be a leader, the way they prepared that year, even though there were a lot of other challenges they had to face, but as a unit, as a passionate cricket team, as a passionate Hyderabadis, they went out and beat Mumbai in their backyard. Obviously, Arshad Bhai got the man of the match, and then Vijay Mohan sir got a double 100. But as a team, they performed. Everyone at those important moments, everyone, big or small, made that contribution. And that's what makes that team a wonderful team, a team to emulate. And I'm hoping that one day, I know things haven't gone well for Hyderabad cricket this year, but one day, definitely, we'll regain that pride. And I'm sure that we'll bounce back and bring back the glory we all saw. I mean, I definitely saw growing up as a cricketer, and we all experienced that as Hyderabadi cricketers. We all know his records. We all know what he has done on a cricket field. But for me, what is really inspiring is what he has done off the cricket field. And that too, not in Hyderabad, not in India, but in Ireland. Because settling down in a new place where he had to make new friends. Obviously, Josephine has been a wonderful partner, and I think a big round of applause to her, because I've actually seen her contribution in the life of Bobji sir. She has transformed herself to be an unbelievable life partner. But when I went to Strabon in 2009, when I was playing for Lancashire, I went and spent 2 days with Bobji sir. And I was just amazed the kind of love, the kind of respect he commands in a place where he was not born. CV, Arid, and Conor mentioned in the book how tough it was to fight racism there, how tough it was for him to be accepted as someone who is one amongst them. But at the end of it, I'm sure it must have been a very satisfying and a fulfilling journey for Bobji sir, because someone like Morgan, who we know is one of the greatest leaders world cricket has seen, he definitely mentions and feels that Bobji sir had a huge influence on him when he was growing as a kid in Ireland. And he, even now, whenever we chat, the first thing he asks is, how is Bobby Rao? How is he doing? Various other Irish cricketers, whether you Niall O'Brien, Rankin, you name them, all of them have got so much of good things to say about sir, because he also in their careers made a massive contribution. So I think what he has done in Ireland, what he has achieved through his various social activities is just remarkable. And that for me is probably more inspiring than probably what he has done as a cricketer. So congratulations on a wonderful journey, sir, and I'm sure that it's only going to continue. And I know how much you love Hyderabad cricket, because recently when I was there with the Indian team in Ireland, we went out for a meal. And even then, even though there was Chetan Sharma there along with us, he didn't mind that, and he was only talking about Hyderabad cricket, what Hyderabad cricket can do, what Hyderabad cricketers can achieve. And that's the kind of passion, that's the kind of love he has got for Hyderabad cricket. And I'm sure that he'll continue to contribute to the sport, and he'll continue to contribute to the society. So congratulations on a wonderful life, an inspirational life, and thank you for always being with me, always guiding me, and being a mentor to me. Also to Conor, congratulations on taking up this a tough assignment. But I know when you reached out to me, I know how passionate you were about writing this book and about the world knowing the story, knowing the life of Bobji sir. And that was the whole reason why he's written this book, because everyone can read it, everyone can get inspired, and everyone can learn from his life. And that's the reason why he has written this book, and it has come out beautifully, and I think it's wonderfully written. So congratulations on that, and all the very best. And Bobji sir has got 3 wonderful kids who are well rounded, very, very humble, very, very polite, and I think their upbringing has been fabulous. You know, I think even though they're in Ireland, they're more Indian than probably I am. And I think credit to Bobji sir. And I think Bobji sir loves this look of his, because I got to know that before playing his first test match, Bobji sir actually went to Tirupati and got his hair removed, which means that he actually sort of, sacrificed his looks and, almost told to the world that looks can be deceptive, but what's important is what's inside the person, and that's what he exemplifies. And I think he's a very religious, very pious, and very spiritual person. Just when I was in Strabane, I still remember there, me and my family, we performed Satyanarayana Puja. I was surprised that in Strabane, in Ireland, we are doing that puja. So that's how Indian he is, that's how spiritual he is, and hats off to Sir for leading such an exemplary life. All the very best for this book, and I'm sure everyone will enjoy reading this. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Lakshman. May I now invite the man of the moment, Bobby, to come and speak a few words. Certainly, some words about how Hyderabad can win the Ranji Trophy again.
Good evening, everyone. Among us is one of the Hyderabad Cricket Association senior most person, Mr. R. Surendra Reddy. Sir, I'm happy that you are here, senior most person. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to be here today to launch my biography, Bobby, India and Ireland, a love story. I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has supported me throughout my career, both on the field and off the field. Cricket has been a huge part of my life, and it has been privileged to represent my country and my state, and played along some of the greatest players of all times. The game has taught me so much, not just about technique, strategy, but also about perseverance, determination, and importance of teamwork. I would like to start by thanking my family, always supported me. My parents installed in me a love for the game, and from a very young age. My eldest brother Ranganath Rao had been a rock throughout my career. He had sacrificed so much to allow me to follow my dreams, and I am forever grateful to him for his love and support. Probably now he is watching me from above. I would also like to thank my sister-in-law Chandrakala, who made a great effort to come here today, and my sister Lalita for being here. I would like to thank my wife Josephine and my children Kamini, Divya and Suresh for the support me for the my second innings of my cricketing journey in Ireland. I would not have achieved what I've achieved there in Ireland if not for them. I would also like to thank my coach A.D. Aibara, teammates and opponents. It has been an honor to play alongside some of the greatest players of all times, and I have learned so much from every one of them. My coach pushed me to be the best player I could be, and I am forever grateful for his guidance and mentorship. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank friends and fans. Cricket would not have been the same without their support. This passion of the game is what makes it so special. And I have been blessed by having so many friends and fans who have been with me throughout my journey. I would also like to express my gratitude to the author of the book, Conor Sharkey, for capturing my journey in such an authentic way. It has been a privilege to be an autobiographer who has been able to tell my story in such a detailed and honest way. Throughout my career, I have been privileged of playing in some of the most iconic cricketing venues around the world, from the hollow turfs of Old Trafford to simmering heats of subcontinent. I have been fortunate enough to experience it all. And I can tell you that there is nothing quite like the feeling of walking out to bat in front of a packed crowd, knowing that you have a chance to make a difference for your team. But as much as I have enjoyed the highs of my career, I have also experienced the lows. There has been times when I struggled both on and off the field. But through it all, I have learned that it is tough times that makes you strong. And it is through perseverance and determination and that you can overcome even the toughest challenges. I would also like to take this opportunity to speak to the younger people who are here in the audience and the seniors. If there is one thing I learned during my career, it is that you must never give up. There will be times when things don't go your way, but it is important to remember that you are not alone. And if you are passionate about the game and you are willing to put the hard work, you will be successful. There is no substitution for hard work. I would like to thank my friend Roger and his wife Cynthia for taking time from this busy schedule to grace this occasion. And also I would like to thank my shish, very, very special Lakshman, for being here for most of our memorable occasion, and also for writing the foreword to my book. And I would like to thank my friend Bharat and Geeta, former Indian Test cricketer who had traveled all the way from Chennai to be here. And also, I would like to thank D. Suresh and Kranti, who was a former Hyderabad Ranji player, who have come all the way from Delhi to be here. Thank you very much. I would also like to thank Nello, Emmanuel, who established a team of organized and to launch this event. The team leader, my niece, Mamta Mari Reddy, and other members of the committee, Krishna Das, Badri Vishal, and Venkat Sarup, who has worked tirelessly for past 3 to 4 weeks to get this event on the road. My special thanks to Louis Vergis and Anushka and 5 of his Devis in the office, Sri Lakshmi, Anthony, Rajeshwari, Jyoti, and Sarita. I would like to thank, sorry, I missed it, and Jyoti. They meticulously went through the book to get ready for the printers. My thanks to the people on dais here, J.S. Ranjan and C.V. Anand, for coming and gracing this occasion means a lot for me. Finally, I would like to thank everyone who has been a part of my journey. It has been an honor to represent my country and state and play the game I loved. I hope that through this book, people will be able to understand the journey that I have been on and learn that I have learned along the way. Last but least, I would like to thank Secunderabad Club for giving me this beautiful occasion for the function. And I would like to thank the press and all my colleagues of the Ranji Trophy who have come, Shivalal, Arshad, Jyoti, Shetty, Azim, Rajesh Yadav, and Swarup. So thank you very much for coming and supporting me. Hopefully, in the near future, Hyderabad will win Ranji Trophy with all your support. We need all of your support for Hyderabad. In the dark times, we need to put the shoulder to the wheel and push Hyderabad back into the map and where Hyderabad cricket belongs. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Bobby, for a very emotional speech. And I think that's what made you the leader that you were, being so vulnerable. Now may I ask Roger to come and speak a few words, please.
It's been a while since I've been the last batsman on the team. I always either opened the innings for Karnataka or I batted at number 4 or 5 for India. Mr. J.S. Rajan, IS Principal, Secretary of Industries and Commerce, Mr. Anand, IPS Commissioner of Police, our author for Bobby's book, Conor Sharkey, and one of India's greatest batsmen, V.V.S. Lakshman, and my good friend, Narasimha Rao, who I fondly call Bobji. It's a great pleasure for me to be here this evening. It's not only for Bobby's book, but I've met so many cricketers, so many who I've played with 40 years ago. I think the oldest cricketer I've played with probably is Nashir Mehta, right? Anybody older than that? No, okay, no, Nashir. Then after that was my good friend, wicketkeeper batsman, Fayaz Beg, and Arshad Ayub. We played a lot of cricket at the Himwadi Curry camp in 74, 75. We were part of the teams. And so many cricketers when I played against Hyderabad, who are here today, when I played against Andhra, are here. That's the beauty of these functions. You get to meet all your old friends who you played so many years ago. Also, I played in 1974 with my good friend and teammate Shivalal Yadev. We played the South Zone schools in the Gymkhana grounds. Shiv, you remember that? Okay. Yeah. So it's a lovely moment to be here and be amongst you all and all you cricketers and ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. Hyderabad has always been a city which we all came to, all the cricketers, in fact all the international cricketers came here for the pre-season before the test matches started. Because we in those days, cricket finished up in April. April was the last knockout game we played for your state, and then we had an off-season from April to September. So we had to get back into the groove of things, and Hyderabad was the one place where we played the Monadola, and we came every year to do that. And that's how we got back into the game, got back our fitness and our cricketing skills back into the game, along with tournaments in Chennai. But the main one, I think, was Hyderabad. And I came here for probably more than 10 years doing that. Well, today I'm here for my good friend, who I call Bobji. I always called him Bobji. Well, I'm sure he's been one of your great cricketing sons. Because when I came onto the cricket scene in probably 1975, Bobby was already an established batsman with the Hyderabad cricket team. He was one of the frontline players amongst your stalwarts like Abbas Ali Beg. Then you had M.L. Jeshima, you had Nawab Pataudi, and you had Abid Ali, all test cricketers, and he was one amongst them who was a brilliant batsman, a brilliant all-rounder really, because he was able to bowl his quickest leg spins. Sometimes he embarrassed us because he bowled faster than us on slow pitches. That was Bobji, and he was a great team man. Because when I played with him in the South Zone in the Dilip Trophy, and then later on we played for India against when I was in the reserves, and Bobby played against Australia in Calcutta. Was it right? Yeah. Calcutta, yeah. And going back to Calcutta, I'd like to bring out something of the pranks and what he played on his team members. So while we were in this test match in Calcutta, we were staying at the Oberoi Grand, and all of us, 3-4 of us, would get back to our rooms in the night, all ready to go to bed, and then we entered our rooms, and on our beds used to be flower pots, like this, lying all right across our bed. And we couldn't get into our bed to sleep. So we had to call the porter and speak to him, and nobody knew who it was. Till one fine evening, we caught him doing it. It was Bobji putting flower pots on our beds in the night to sleep. So that was the prankster he was. And there were many more pranks which I can't tell you about, but he was a big prankster. He was also a big foodie. When we played a Dilip Trophy match in Baroda against West Zone, and we were staying in this hotel called Express Stars, and I had a roommate, Sudhakar Rao. His roommate was Jyoti Prasad, and we sat on to order dinner, room service in our rooms, and we asked this guy at the room service counter to please send us some tandoori chicken. So he says, sorry, sir, the chicken is over. So we said, it's only 9 o'clock in the night. We said, yes, sir, the room next to you, those boys ate the chicken up. So we went to find out who it was. And there was plates all piled up on the bed. There was Narasimha Rao and Jyoti Prasad. They ate up all the chicken at the hotel. That was Bobji for you. He was a prankster, a good foodie, and a good man, a very good friend of mine. We enjoyed our stints with the Indian team because he was good fun on the field, because he enjoyed the game very much. He enjoyed the way just the way he played the game, and he also was very popular off the field. Like someone just said, or maybe Conor written it in his book, he was more like a rock star, you know. I think in his previous life he must have been a rock star, the way he dressed and the way he wore his hairstyle and the way he played the game. So, to me, Bobby's been a great friend. I've also met his family, Josephine and the children, and I would like to wish Bobby well. He's done well, not only at home in his home country, but he's gone outside. He's able to motivate and develop the game, outside, and it's been a fantastic journey for him. I would like to wish him all the very best, and good luck to you, Bobby. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. And now, for the launch of the book, may I invite Roger, the chief guest, and the guest of honor, Lakshman, to unveil the book and launch it. So can you hand over the copies of the books to the other guests, please? Thank you. All right, thank you everyone. Please be seated now. I would now request Bobby and Josephine to felicitate the guests with a memento and a shawl. Thank you, Bobby and Josephine. We're now towards the last leg, and it's ideally the vote of thanks time, but it would be criminal to not have someone talk from the Ranji Trophy team that won the Ranji Trophy in 1987. So may I request Arshad to speak a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Distinguished members on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody has covered what the book has been written about. My thing is that I'll go back to my debut, where Bobby took over as a captain from Abid Ali. And my first match, that too in Nizamabad, playing against Andhra. We were in quite a serious situation. Bobby was batting and 5 down, and we were around about 85, 86 for 5 down. Bob was batting and I went in. Bob told me that, you just have to hang on. We need to stay at the wicket, which I did. And we built up a partnership of more than 100 runs. Bob got 100 in that match. I got only 29. And we did well. We went on to win the outright against Andhra at that time. Similarly, the last game of the season, we were playing Bengal. And again, almost the similar thing happened. We were again around about 80, 90 for 5 down. Bob was still batting there. I went in. Bob told me that, look, we have to save the game. You need to be there. And luckily for us that we played, I think we most probably added around about 180, 190 runs. Bob got again 100. I was not out with 80 plus. But we saved the game. Unfortunately, we lost it on the toss. That actually, if you look at that, beginning of my career, Bob was there at the right time for me to be, nurtured and really helped me out in doing that. Now, looking back that, not to take you through the complete journey, but just a few things that, we had a lot of ups and downs. We had Hyderabad team banned for wearing tracksuit in a practice session. We went through that, and we went through the difficult period of, which is, I think I hope that it's mentioned there that, during our place panel time, Bob was the one to support me when I started that, and he was the one who was there when we went on for the campaigning and all that. And later on, everybody joined, but that was tough days. But we went through that. Then the changeover happened. We won Ranji Trophy. And particularly that year, if you look at the Ranji Trophy, tremendous performances. If you go through that, Khalid Abdul Khaim got 300s in the season. Likewise, everyone. Rajesh contributed a lot with his bowling. Shivlal actually played only 1 or 2 matches, that's all. But in the final, he played an important role. Azim got 100 in the final. Vijay Mohan Raj got 200. Documentary of 1987 win, Ranji Trophy win. And last but not the least, I think in 2014 when I became the president of Hyderabad Cricket Association, I thought that, we need somebody who can have a cricketing discipline rather, to run the academy. And I thought that, Bobby should be called back. And on my request, he came back, and we could see the results straight away. We could see the results. 2 years. I was the president at that time. Before that, I was there, but these 2 particular years that, cricket changed quite a bit. In the sense that, we started winning all kind of tournaments. Whether it is under 19, 22, all those tournaments we won. And we did so well that in Ranji Trophy that from played we came into elite, and then we went up to almost quarters. And we had a bench strength at the time. Because of him, we had a really good bench strength. And anybody could have been played from that bench strength. That was the kind of, bench strength we developed during that time. And I would like to mention here that Bob played a major role there in the academy, the way he handled the youngsters. Because we had a camp starting right from December, going up to September, before the Ranji Trophy. And everyone was prepared. And there were so many hundreds from the youngsters in the league matches. Everyone were getting runs. So it was wonderful to see that, the young cricketers performing so well. And they actually, if you look at it, they got such a good help from the academy when Bob was the director there. And he actually took a lot of coaches. You see, we didn't have brilliant coaches. I can be very frank about that we had coaches who were hardworking. But I think, Bob saw to it that, they get the right feedbacks so that they can help the young cricketers. So we did that, and I think it was wonderful to see that we came back into elite, and boys started doing really well. So thanks to everyone, actually, at that particular time who were involved in the academy. My really good friend Bobby, we have been in touch right from the beginning when he was in Ireland also. We always used to talk. Bobby normally calls every now and then, and I call back now and then. So we always have a very good rapport between us. So congratulations to Bobby for launching his book, and all the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Arshad. Now for the vote of thanks, may I invite Mamta, please.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I stand here today in front of you to present the vote of thanks on behalf of Chindaddy, as I call him, Bobby, to all of you, and Josephine. More importantly, I stand here today representing my father, Bobby's brother, Ranganatha Rao, who would have been so immensely proud and delighted. My father did have the opportunity to read parts of the book. So presenting the vote of thanks is a challenge in itself, because this stands between a fantastic event that we had and drinks and dinner. So bear with me, because I really need to thank few people without whom today's book launch would not have been possible. To start with, Conor, the author of the book, for tirelessly working over 2 years. It is no mean feat to capture a life journey that spans over 2 countries. There are 2 parts to Bobby's life, one before 1988 in India and the one after 1988 in Ireland. Thank you, Conor, for opening Bobby's life before 1998 to his family and friends in Ireland, and Bobby's life after 1988 to all of us in India. Conor visited India to meet people, as he mentioned, twice. He interviewed over 60 people to understand Bobby's life journey, and he went to all the places that Bobby grew up, right? The lanes of Walkertown, Swatantra Colony. He went everywhere, and a lot of research went into the book. The book, therefore, is an output of a very committed individual, which reflects his passion and his ability to relate to Bobby's life and bring out Bobby's life in the most amazing manner. And Conor is not a professional sports correspondent. But Conor, congratulations on your first book and wishing you many more. Thank you. I would like to thank the distinguished dignitaries on the dais, Mr. C.V. Anand, Mr. Roger Binny, Mr. V.V.S. Lakshman, and Jayesh Garu, for readily agreeing to grace the occasion and share their thoughts despite their super busy schedules. To put an event together like this successfully requires a team that's always coordinating, that's challenging each other, that is debating and coming up with the best. So this is to the team that made this event possible. First, Mr. Nello Emmanuel and Mr. Krishnadas for their valuable inputs in shaping this event for us. The execution team, Louis Vergis and his team, for working on the changes in the format of the book, the printing of the book, sitting with the printer for hours together, and the number of meetings that they attended at short notice and being patient with us. A special mention to Louis' niece, Akanksha, who is just 14 years old. She is the one who designed the invite. So well done, and thank you, Akanksha. And the two men behind the scenes who did a lot of running around and in some cases made us run as well. Swaroop and Badri Vishal, thank you very much. And like Bobby said to the media, they've always been very friendly with him in his playing days and his non-playing days. Secunderabad Club for the very beautiful venue. Kushal from ZoneAdds for the creative work that we're seeing today. Bahadur for all the arrangements. Venkatesh Pardasarathi for managing Bobby's Twitter account. Mr. Hari Mohan for being a wonderful host. Last but not the least, all of you for being part of this momentous occasion and coming here on a Saturday evening. Thank you so very much for joining us, and have a wonderful rest of the evening. Thank you.
And now for the most important part of the evening. Mostly after the book launch is done, we're all done. But actually it's not. The books are there. We have to buy them, get the author's signature. Most of this, we write books so people buy them and read them and give us feedback. So Bobby will be there to sign, as will Conor. Please buy the book, read them. The books are also going to be also available in all the leading bookstores starting today, on Flipkart, on Amazon. So please buy the book, read it, and join us for drinks and dinner afterwards. Thank you all for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you so much. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, the dinner and drinks are that way in the lawns.